And because Israel is bad, Israel is making Iran look good. And after Israel's terrorist attack with the pagers, Israel is making Hezbollah look good. And I think both Hezbollah and Iran are realizing that they have a great deal to gain from patience and moderation. I would say that Israel is desperate enough to have nothing but force left. So I think Israel is doing two things here, or Israel is desperate for a war with Lebanon for two reasons. One is because Israel has been promising its citizens who were evacuated from the north, that's about 100,000 citizens, that the only way they will return is if Israel fights a war with Hezbollah and pushes it back from the border and establishes new security understandings in the region. And the only solution presented by Israel's government was a war. And this has been true for a year. And the second reason Israel wants a war is because Gaza is now a very profound failure for Israel. Israel has not been able to meet its war goals. It has not been able to eliminate Hamas. It has not been able to return its hostages. This Lebanon will prove a distraction from Gaza. So I think what Israel is doing now is attacking Hezbollah as hard as it can in an attempt to cause Hezbollah to fire the opening salvo of an all-out. Because while Israel really wants a war, it's also important for Israel not to start the war. If Prime Minister Netanyahu starts the war, it will be seen as a war he started for his own personal gain. He wants this war to be inevitable, a war that has no choice whatsoever. And for that reason, he needs the enemy to start the war. So he is attacking Lebanon relentlessly, hoping to cause Hassan Nasrallah to snap. So far, Nasrallah is not obliging him, because Hezbollah has much more to gain from not going to war than from going. Hezbollah and Iran's response has been very subdued. Iran has not retaliated publicly against Israel, despite Israel's assassination of Ismail Haniyeh on Iranian soil, and Hezbollah has continued firing into Israel at a pace that is carefully tailored to fit Israel's pace of firing into Lebanon. And I think the effect of this on the Middle East is that the balance is shifting. Israel has expanded a lot of effort into creating a symbiosis with Iran. Where Israel is good, Iran is bad. But now, after a year of genocide in Gaza, Israel is bad. And because Israel is bad, Israel is making Iran look good. And after Israel's terrorist attack with the pagers, Israel is making Hezbollah look good. And I think both Hezbollah and Iran are realizing that they have a great deal to gain from patience and moderation. They're not that moderate. Hezbollah still continues to fire into Israel, but it is not doing what Israel expected it to do, which is start all-out war. So I think the balance in the Middle East is shifting. When this is over, Israel will no longer be the recognized good guy. Israel will no longer be the one democracy, the stable country. Israel will be a rogue country when this is over. And into the space that Israel is going to leave in the region, it's quite likely to assume that Iran will fill some of it. And Hezbollah, if it manages to survive this Israeli onslaught, and to refrain from launching all-out war, there are a lot of chances that it will find itself strengthened in Lebanon and in the Arab world at large. Quite horrible. Israelis are presenting it as a great success, as a targeted attack, and there are a lot of jokes about exploding Lebanese. There is no discussion about the civilians hurt, there's no discussion about the collateral damage, nothing at all about this potentially being a terrorist attack. This is considered justified and precise and an indication of Israeli force. They think that this is a demonstration of Israeli brilliance, and they care not at all about the damage to civilians, the horrible injuries, and the lack of any precautions to ensure the safety of bystanders and non-combatants. And hundreds and thousands were wounded. I understand that 500 lost an eye, and 300 lost both of their eyes, and several hundreds lost both of their hands. And people were injured in their groin area, and just horrible, horrible stuff. And in Israel, this is the subject of jokes. Most Israelis are adopting a very tough stance on this and saying it's their problem, they're terrorists. In a way, the logic of Israel's position towards Palestinians in Gaza, which is ultimately they're all terrorists, is now being expanded towards Lebanese in general and the effect that these attacks had on Lebanese society. I would say that Israel is desperate enough to have nothing but force left.